Good evening, everybody. Sorry, stumbled over my words. Good evening, everybody. I am actually sort of on time. I mean, it's within the 1 hour window. It'd be nice if I can start directly at 7, but I'm going to take the minor victories where I can get them. Work is still appalling. I feel slightly encouraged. My coworkers are pretty empathetic about what's going on. My old manager, not supervisor, rate above, is very supportive. So much so that it makes me feel bad that things have gotten the way that they are. So it is just nice that I've had a couple of friendly voices reminding me that I am not crazy. Um, but anyways, that is neither here nor good Lord. Sorry, I just saw something on my um, computer. Let me good. How do I this will probably work. Sorry, this is just something on my computer that I need to deal with really quick. Something's taken up like 25 gigs and it shouldn't. What? Okay. Um, sorry, I realize this is terrible, terrible broadcasting, but oh, for God's sake. One last thing for me to search. Ah, here we go. Just doing something. I should maybe explain. So, for those of you maybe not familiar with data science or related topics, there is a package manager, or it's really a distribution called Anaconda. Quite good. I'm starting to move more into the Astral tools. So this would be like Rough and UV and Tie. I know they got bought by OpenAI, which is a little sad, but I quite like them as tools, and I'm trying to use them more often. And one of the unfortunate drawbacks to Conda and Anaconda is that when you make an environment, it sort of takes all of the packages that you're using and puts them in a new environment. It's not always efficient in terms of the way that it uses space. So I had just three environments, but those three environments seem to be using up over 25 gigabytes of space on my C drive, and that is starting to get a little full. So um, I wanted to make sure that I'll have it running in the background. Oh, for God's sake. Okay. There we go. Okay. And I can run this in the background as long as I do the next one. All right. So yeah, sorry about that. I didn't want to turn this into a System Chalked as maintenance on his computer. Um, stream. But hopefully this will save me some headaches down the road, particularly when it comes to, wow, everything's really full. This has got to be something to do with like Windows updates. Okay. Sorry, I am going to need one more minute. I realize it's been 5 minutes of me doing stuff I should have done before I went live. But the good news is this gave people a chance to come into the into the stream. Okay, I'm feeling encouraged about some of this. The rest I'm going to have to leave for my own time. Okay, thank you everybody for your patience. I hopefully don't need to do too much of that in the future. So yeah, I mean it's a tough time right now. It's something that's contributing to some pretty erratic streams, both in terms of quality and the start times. I have the contours of something to fix it, but I honestly need to fix it fast, and these things don't always move fast. So we'll see how it goes. All right, now I believe everyone's... Yeah, I think everybody's got their levels. So 3-bolt burst is boosted, predictive bolt is boosted. Swap locations, right? If we use it with an ally, then we get the refund. Okay, I think we can make this work. I don't think we have anything to do with the map. I could try and make it look a little tidier, but... Oh, the anxiety... Oh, that's right. I believe High Achiever was one I was struggling to do to get the full points for. But you know what? Let's give this a shot. I do, if I can, I do want to try and... I do want to see if I can make this work. So finish by the end of turn 3. Oh, you know what? I've got an idea here. So I'm thinking if I do something like this and I static blast... No, that's not going to work because I'm not on the right side of the breach. So as far as I can tell, there's no way for me to stop the entry here. So we'll go for second best. All right, so as far as I can tell, this is all we can do in turn 1. I mean, we took one person down, which is good, but I'm going to be... There's a lot that I'm expecting to have happen on this, on turn 2. Okay, so we know what I want to do. In this case here, first step is to hack the turret. I don't think it matters which broom breach I do. Yeah, I think we wind up. Although, I believe if I do a static blast, aha. This opens some possibilities. Not enough to stun, though. So, I mean, generally right idea. I suppose the question I have is there anything that... I mean, I can move him back one. Okay. Hurt myself doing that, though. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think there's much for me to do there. Alright, so... Gale Grenade's not gonna do much for me here. Oops. Apparently didn't stop me from using it. So the next problem here is I don't have a whole lot to do in, like, these areas. So I can try and bounce this guy back, but he's still gonna want to beat me up. And, like, honestly, there's not a whole lot for me to... There's not many options for escape. So, I mean, one thing I can try and do is something like this and try to Gale Grenade. Oh, that's an interesting possibility. The only thing is I kind of need the turret to take everybody out. Oh, hey, I swear Twitch can give you the notification for this one. Good evening. Hey, Pugboard, good to see you. Sorry for such an ungracious reply to your really nice message. First of all, big congratulations on your satire post. You obviously kicked my ass as far as like attention goes. So absolutely well done. I am mildly intrigued by your project, but there's no way I was going to be able to compare to what the other person wrote. So I just decided to go for Max Troll. All right, you know what? I'm going to change it up here. Nope, they're still going to go for the... Actually, so what if I did... No, it's gotta be... I mean, I better figure out a miracle this turn around, but turns out people will get angry when the sat. Yeah. Working on a little something that will likely take a while. Wanted to get some names and info as a preliminary sweep. Is okay. No, that's cool. I'm not gonna. I don't want to try and force the issue on on revealing what's up. But I'm intrigued. It would be fair to say. Yeah, so I mean, the problem with this one is if I'm going to get this done in 3 turns... Yeah, you know what, we'll... I could come back with, like, other people for this, but I think this one's a little bit beyond me. Okay, we've played the chats. At some point, I may want to get a new outfit, but right now, I'm pretty happy with my existing choices. Anyways, I hope you're doing well. Sorry for the lack of reply at the start. We do have a plan. One shot to throw a wrench in the war machine before it rolls out, and we need all the meat on the streets we can get. So if you want to be some extra gristle in the chapel meat grinder when we hit them tomorrow night, you're in. You sell it well. I'm not a recruiter. It's a symbol of vengeance and 100 pounds of Sednite armor. I'm a symbol of vengeance and 100 pounds of Sednite armor. Back me up or don't. Alright. Meant that in a kind of playful tone, but I might have misread the room. Wait, the chapel use Imperial? Yes? Let's put these fuckers in the ground. What's the mission? Yeah, still working on the work stuff, but doing my best. The Chapel of the Closed Fist. The heart of their military options, and where it's the first chaplain take strategy meetings. The agent we had on their janitorial staff was blown last week, but we believe the last recording he made is still at his dead drop inside. This close to announce, there's every chance he caught the first chaplain discussing their real reasons for invading Medill. That's the one thing that might be explosive enough to derail the invasion, so we get that recording at all costs. Game plan? Closed Fist is a fortress. We throw everything we've got. I'll lead the brute force contingent to raise hell at the front gate, and once they move their defenses to deal with us, Group 2 storms the side entrance and shoots their way through to the dead drop. What's this building here? Nothing. It's just a church. And these are all windows? Yeah, why? Can I make a suggestion? Wish you would. Don't waste your distraction at the front gate. They're already strong there. They won't need to divert much. Even your distraction should make them sweat. They won't sweat this church. There's nothing there. Not the church, the side entrance. Send everyone there, but don't go in. You don't need to. With that many people at a weak point, the threat is enough. They'll have to defend it. Dal's eyebrows are trying to decide if Zan is stupid. You do understand that we need to get inside the building to get the recording, right? That's us. We breach that church, get to the second floor, then Jen can cross the facility straight through these windows and grab the recording and get out. No one even touches the rest of the facility. Not impossible, but I can't let you take the recording. Too important to trust to a stranger. Well, you've got craft out in the streets. We saw you teleport. How's that work? What's the limit? Line of sight. Need the target to swap with, range maybe 200 feet. Then you come with us. You get to the window, you swap in, and get the recording yourself. You're overqualified as a distraction anyway. Might be the sleep deprivation, but this isn't sounding crazy yet. I'll run it by command, but they won't love who it came from. If there's something we don't know about the situation, set us straight. But if it's a question of operational expertise, Zan's been doing this for 25 years. I genuinely don't know of anyone clocking that much Spec Ops experience without dying on a Spec Op. I'll relay it. Not gonna do that little sales pitch, though. That shit won't fly with the cell. Your choice. You had to make it about my age? In a nice way. This time. Just some church right by the Chapel of the Closed Fist. I'm seeing more gunmen in here than I'm used to in a church. We're in a militarized district. We'll hit worse. What's with the golden arms? Absolvers. Chapel found a guy who could make people invulnerable. Locked him up. Now they force him to enchant those sleeves with the same power. The vessels? That's meant to be a once-in-a-lifetime gift. You can't battery farm them. Chapel found a way. Last I heard, they get 20 a week out of him. It's horrifying. It's how they treat people with craft. Mid to low tier on the list of reasons I won't let them take me alive. Let's do this quick and clean. Alright, knock out all enemies and reinforcements, use the laptop to open the security door, finish with all team members at full health, deal with all enemies by the end of turn 1. That's a pretty tall order, but not impossible. And destroy 2 weapon caches. So this one should be pretty straightforward. But it does let me... Okay, this is a little unfortunate, but... Really? I have ideas. But I need like one more hit than I currently have. Cool. Alright, so I can charge this fella. Damn, okay, so... Ugh, terrible. Actually, at this point, I think we'll just end the turn. Oh, here's the other weapon crash. Okay. So one curiosity I have is if I just do another death's door here... Insufficient. All right. Cool, but unfortunately I can't accept the damage. So I think what I'm going to do here, I'm still going to do the Death's Door and the Sedative Cocktail. I've already used the Gale Grenade, which is a shame. But I feel at this point I can just... Actually, I wonder... Right. Hang on. Okay, so that's not enough for them to die, which is good. Okay, so I definitely need to use the sedative. Actually, the other thing I'm wondering here is if I do something like this. Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. But I am wondering if I did maybe this. Yeah. So the thing that's nice about this is I don't necessarily have to take out the baddies. I'm still inclined to. I think this will do bad things to me. Yeah. It'd be nice if I had a little bit more, but we'll at least get the chip damage on the priest. Now, the real drawback on this one is that I've used up all my Death's Doors. So I do have the option of Transference, which I'm going to reserve as an option. Nice. Now I'm thinking if I throw the riot block. Alright, not quite enough to seal the deal, but I'm gonna guess. There we go. And everybody's special tasks were done. I'm coming up on the windows, but the route's crowded. Want to raise some hell to draw them over there? Happy to. We're outside a big fire pit. Is that important? A hallowed hearth? A rare laugh. Yeah, safe to say they'll lend some folks to protect that. And we'll hold it till they run out. Appreciated. Alright, so Banks has to hit 6 enemies with a single spectral skull. That's going to be an interesting challenge. Not impossible, but I'm intrigued. Jen has to defenestrate 2 hostiles in 1 turn. That's actually not too much of a worry. And Zan has to have the team use 9 different abilities in 1 turn. That one's going to be a little more difficult, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to breach first. Encouraging. So I'm curious, I think if I static blast here, the catch is going to be Chapel Shepherd Morgana is going to take the shot. I survived. Okay, so that looks like there is a shot on me there. I'm thinking there's something here. But I'm not ready to use the time yet. So my preference would be able to knock Chapel Shepherd Morgana into... Oh God, we've only done 2. Okay. You know what? Let's just do this whole turn back. So, yeah, that's not so good. So I'm curious if I take cover. Yeah, can't do that. Well, okay, here's a question. If we redeploy Jen in place, so I can breach here. So I can do the static thing. So then if I Gale Grenade... Nice. The Broom Breach would be nice for counting the... Yeah, this is a tough one. So the big problem here is I'd love to do a predictive bolt. Okay. So let's time boost Jen. right, but I didn't take the... So that doesn't work. I mean, I can still move Jen, it's just I don't... Okay, so if Banks... So the problem with Banks doing the sedative is there's, yeah, the shot that happens there. Okay, but you know what? There's another answer for that. So Banks breaches here. I guess the question would be... Yeah, this is still the one that I want, but if I do the transference... Let's go from me to... Chapel Absolver Moritz. So then we sedative cocktail. So on paper that seems like a good move, but unfortunately the Gale Grenade doesn't deliver. Alright, well, it was worth a try. So I'm going to do as a second best, we'll Static Blast like so. Gale Grenade seems pretty simple here. Okay, I'm actually seeing some possibilities here. So now we can breach with Zan. So if I grab the intel... So here we're going to take Banks. Oh man, I can even do the sedative cocktail. Let's actually do that. So here I need time boost on Jen. So I want to be really specific with how I do the bolt. Beauty! I've got 6. Oh, this sucks. Okay. I can make this work. Okay, so we 3-bolt burst them out the window. Okay, no, I need more. So I figure I can transference. I think if I just random predictive bolt. Oh, hang on. Generally the right idea, but this is all about getting the task done. Oh, Christ, I completely forgot about the Spectral Skull. I may have to come back for that one. But just because like the rest of this turn worked out reasonably well. But there are going to be more enemies showing up, so I need to make sure that Banks gets a... I need to make sure that Banks gets a thing. Okay, this will work. Honestly, at this point, a lot of this is just kind of boilerplate. We can... Well, I guess I want to move Jen first. Like, it would be good to have people in place to accomplish what I'm looking to do. In fact, I want to be a little careful with how I do this, because I do still want that spectral skull. So if we take cover like so... Not what I had in mind. That's a pity. Okay, I'm slightly curious about this now. So Jen can go around like this. Banks can toss the cocktail in a way that destroys the... After which we knock you back. Okay, so there's no escaping that guy. So, a bit of a shame, but we will... This one may actually throw the missions. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I've got 2 turns worth of building up threat, which I'm a bit nervous about, to be honest. Ooh, that's gonna complicate things a lot. I think it's fair to say this was quite a poor idea. Okay. Hang on. This doesn't need to be as difficult as I'm making it. Oh, crap. Okay, I'm going to take cover again. Oop. Again, this could blow the mission, but I'm willing to take the chance. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because I got rid of 1. Now, the tricky part on this one is I don't have... So I can do this sort of run, but I don't have transference, and I don't have cover. And then, of course, I need some wacky physics to make this work. You know what? I'm going to reset this mission. Like this, it was a good idea right up until I forgot one of the objectives. I'm coming up on the windows, but the route's crowded. Okay, well, so much for that. Not what I wanted. Now, what I am curious about is if we just grab the intel here and I do some crazy spectral skull magic. Oh, wow. That is not an easy shot. The window makes that, like, preposterous. Okay. Duly noted. Oh my god, I did one with 9 different abilities in one turn and completely forgot. Oh god, I should not have been so careless. Okay. Okay, I'm not crazy about wasting the transference here, but I'm not sure. Unless I can somehow do a magic broom breach, that's just not happening. So, I think we're just gonna have to learn to live with disappointment. I don't need to be that silly. Can't self-boost. I was hoping I would, I'd be able to predictive bolt this unit on arrival. I have ideas, though. This is gonna suck, by the way, as far as transference. Do you often get bots in your chat? I didn't realize this was a Twitch thing, more noticeable with smaller stream. Probably. I mean, maybe they're also you know, inclined to prey on me because I'm a nobody. I don't think that's the actual reason, but okay. So I have a couple decisions that I need to make here. So the question is, how that's not gonna help me. Cool. So I'm thinking a sedative cocktail's enough to take them out. I don't think I'm ready to use the time boost yet. I just know I have to. Okay, so this is where I want to be a little more careful. So for instance, one of the things that I can do here is sedative cocktail. Which in theory... Oh, yeah, that's not happening. I was thinking we might be able to get away with banging someone out the window. That's not the way that's going to work. Okay. It's a start. So the notable thing here is that the Chapel Riot Priest isn't like they're not moving based on or sorry, they're not in whacking range. Now I'm a little surprised Zan didn't fire on that. But either way. Oof. We'll do our best. So this is going to be where hopefully Death's Door gives us some wins. All right. This is going to be very, very delicate. So in its current form, I can't Death's Door anything. I can False Prophet. That's probably not going to do what I need. Okay, so if I do one... This is ridiculous. I think I'm one short on... Holy hell. Okay. So I guess part of this turn really is just finding a way that we can dodge the baddies here. That is a tall order, though. that gives me something to work with. Good God. Okay, yeah, so Jen's still a potential target here. Okay, that's encouraging. We're getting somewhere. I think the problem here is wherever I take the false prop, yeah. So I can set up a predictive vault, but it's not going to do anything. It would have been nice if I could direct them a little closer to windows, but at this point, I think I just need to take what I can get. Not sure how I feel about that one, but they're out for blood. Now this has some potential. That has less potential, but we did something. This would have been wonderful if I could have just figured out some sort of escape for Zan. So in this case, we'll just whittle them down. They know better. Okay. Not sure that's what I wanted, but I think we can make something out of this. Yeah, that's not going to do it. Okay, well, let's get the sedative cocktail down first. Yeah. Okay. Now, there's one thing I can do for sure that's going to work. Not on with those angles. Oh, damn it. So one of the things that I can do is save everyone's bacon. So there's two ways I can save everyone's bacon. Either I knock off a death's door. That's a pretty tall order given the state of play right now. Like the best I could do would be, yeah, I can do some knockbacks, but they're not really delivering. Well, you know what? Let's not rule this out. Yeah, they don't move back on that, so. So realistically, what I need here is something to trigger Zan's predictive bolt. Okay, so what does that get me? Not enough. Oh, crap. Okay. I'm just trying to remember how far... Okay, so if I get, like, Jen to just straight up flee... I put Zan in the corner. Okay, I mean, there's potential here. But, like, obviously, Banks gets clobbered. But I'm wondering if I static blast. I mean, it is what it is, right? So then I broom breach to the other side. Yeah, everywhere Banks goes is deadly. So then I suppose the question is, yeah, so we also run into... So one of these two is getting taken out. So here's what I think the right play is. Zan's the sacrifice. We can't move anyone else. Okay. So that sets us up. No! That was careless. This could actually end me. Yeah, I think I actually just killed my chances of finishing this mission. So, I mean, I can try clever stuff like, I don't know, sedative cocktail, static blast, run away. But like, there's really no. Also, I'm wondering why Banks can't move. Oh, here we go. Okay. Okay, so I don't seem to knock him back at all. This is my best bet. Yeah, and then they take out Banks. I'm pretty sure I just screwed up this level big time. It's because I thought like this is like being a bad chess player. Like I thought that they were just gonna kind of, they're not going to react to the way I played, which is obviously a really good way to lose chess matches. You know, playing the way you wish somebody would play rather than... I mean, let's play it out to the end, but... yeah, they're clever about it. I mean, there's potential here, right? But I need multiple... maybe, let's see. Yep. Man. I almost really screwed that up. All right. Still, I'm actually kind of happy that we were able to pull that. That's one lesson for me, is I really need to stop giving this stuff up. All right, I'm at the crossover point. There's still heavy resistance, but I might be able to take him. No, don't quit. Don't engage. We've got this building. You just need to get across as soon as you can. Doesn't sound like my style. Leave him in the dust. Huh, fundamentally the same thing, but now I kind of like it. Okay, I think it's pretty obvious how this one starts. Maybe not, actually. So, I mean, I can do one of these. Okay, no, they don't kick my ass. Destroy at least 4 more weapon caches by the end of this turn. How the hell am I supposed to do that? I mean, I could do something like this. I actually don't see how that's achievable. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I do. Yeah, I see how this works. So this is basically to tempt me out of doing it the easy way. Let's see if I can make this work. So, I mean, one option, I suppose, is to charge. I mean, they're going to beat the crap out of me for that, so... I can sort of back myself into a corner, but then the question is, what do I accomplish doing that? So then if I sensor slam... Yeah, seems like I just get creamed again. Okay, I mean, I see potential there. Let's see how the turn goes. Not encouraging. Yeah, that's not nearly enough. So, I mean, realistically, what I need here is... Yeah, so the mistake that I made... I see the mistake that I made trying this approach. The... So I definitely need to bait this guy into hitting a window. So this one I'm going to restart. So again, I have some broad ideas, but so breach. Now, one of the first things I want to think about is, so I have two options, right? Oh no, I only have one. So we do one of these, grab the intel, swap. So far as I can tell, there's only one place that I can take out for crates, right? Now, I do have the option of throwing the riot block. The question is, what does that get me? It's not clear in terms of where this enemy is going to move. So one possibility that emerges is... yeah, actually, let's just end the turn. Okay, so this was the challenge we ran into before. Now, if I do something like... Yeah, so they still beat the crap out of me. Cool. So that's going to force them into a spot where they're in front of the window. Oh, no, it's not. All right. That didn't do anything. Interesting. So I'm going to try starting this one more time. This may be one where the challenge is a bit too much for me. So again, as far as I can tell, this is the only way of handling this particular challenge. Again, I do have some options. Yeah, it doesn't do anything. Happy enough with that. I suppose one other option I have is to try and encourage them to go closer to one of these windows. So let's see if we can make that work. All right, there's definitely potential there. I'm seeing where this goes. Oh yeah, no, I've totally got this. That was a clever one. Got the recording. You guys in position? Yeah, and we wouldn't say no to some backup. We might have underestimated how long they could keep sending guys. Good. The more firepower we draw here, the less they have to gun down our distraction team. Extraction van's almost in range. We can blink out any time after that. And let's make them sweat as long as we can. Oh dear. Okay. This is an interesting one, so I'm going to guess that Swap has something interesting. So, I mean, I think there's a pretty obvious start to this. There's going to be a small challenge here with these folks. Okay, Chapel Shepherd's one we definitely want to take out. You know what? Maybe getting Dal to knock them out the window isn't the right call here. Oh, well, you know what? It doesn't matter because we're not going to be able to get there anyway, so. I think I'm most inclined for Zan to get the intel. I'm a little worried that I may be setting Jen up for sabotage, but surviving 7 turns of this is going to be very difficult. But let's see how it goes. Good lord. So I don't think there's a lot of sense in keeping our people in this room. So at this point, we swap out a tracker. Sacre bleu. All right. I was hoping we could do something a little more exciting, but I was not expecting that chapel tracker to still be a threat. Okay, I have thoughts. Damn it. forced my hand. Ah, almost enough. I'm not ready to do transference yet, so best bet here. I do need to anticipate what's going to be coming up in a few. Oh, wait. Doll's still available. I mean, this isn't going to help us with banks. Oh, that's really not going to help us with banks. Okay, we'll do our best. It's gonna be character building. That's not gonna work. Too much effort. There's a couple of things I can do here. All right. It's a start. We're getting somewhere here. Okay. I'm going to resurrect Zan. Actually, I wonder, so if I false prophet... Okay, I can't self-time boost. No. Ouch. Right, it's false prophet that I need to do to... Obviously, I took this too far back. Oh, I think I know what I did wrong. So I believe the false prophet blocks one of the shots. Yes. I'm gonna need to remember that trick in future. Something in false prophets, yeah. False prophet's not going to save me from a mortar. I think that's going to be... I'm just going to have to accept... I think I'm going to have to accept the hit. So... might as well spend it. Okay, I can live with that. It says keep your team alive till the end of turn 4. It's turn 4. It says survive 4 more turns. So apparently there's an option to like leave, which I really do not want to take. Now, one of the most notable things here for me is that they're doing a very good job of avoiding windows. So I think if I do a good old-fashioned... I was trying to think of a clever way to do the, oh man, okay. I do need to use the predictive bolt somehow. Ouch. I think I'm just gonna have to learn to work with it. I have no idea how I deal with these chapel cleansers. I think this is just going to have to be a bit of sadness I learned to live with. I feel like I should do more with the like I have the time boost and I have the ability to shoot stuff. Clearly I don't have the ability to, well, okay, I mean, like this costs me nothing. I can false prophet, but I don't think that's the way to go here. All the threats to me come from the chapel cleanser, so if I get Jen to do her thing... Damn it! I think it's going to be the same story. Yeah. So, I mean, Zan's not going to get his mana sapped, which is fine. Let's see what happens next turn. Okay. Oh, damn. Okay. So regardless, we need to false prophet. Use your blink. Blink out's ready. Let's go. Or we could keep pounding them till our fists bleed. Two valid choices. Okay, so I mean, I have the option of hitting blink out at any time. So at this point, like to me, there's no risk to trying to make it work. I'm pretty pessimistic about my chances here, but. Okay, so here's, I think one of the things that's going to make this work is a... Yeah, I don't have transference anymore, so... So the way I need to make this work is getting more time through the time boost. That unfortunately means moving Jen in an inconvenient way. And frankly, unless you know what, actually we got to blink out. So unless these cleansers need to be dealt with somehow, and I don't have the team to do it. So that one, I'll confess, trying to survive 3 more turns on that one is going to be tricky, but it's one I want to try at some point in the future. Infiltrate the church, complete. Get Dal to the Chapel of the Closed Fist, complete. Retrieve the recording, complete. Leave the militarized zone discreetly. Possible this was not sufficiently stressed to Jen. Okay, so Jen and Dessa have perk points to spend. I've not been using Chain Bolt as much. I think Static Blast has been doing the work, and I can see situations where I'd want to bounce them. Chaining through friendlies, including yourself, refunds the action cost once per turn. I like that idea a lot. Sedated. All targets take 1 damage. If the protectee is an enemy or the victim is an ally, your use is refunded when the transfer happens. Interesting. If the victim is an enemy, they gain 1 unsteady when the link is created. If a target is pushed into the tile, that would definitely be help. I don't remember what Sedated does. So yeah, I've got Banks for the protection ring and everyone for the stand. I think I said I was going to try and make some progress, so we will move on. Chapel of the Closed Fist, last week. With greatest respect, Chaplain, I think this is a gross overreaction. The insurgency will blow over. It always does. And if we commit to war with Midil now, we can't play that card for another 5 years. It's not about the rabble-rousers, Felgo. It's about the mana. My singers in Laboli have seen the test firsthand. The damn stuff is militarized now. It's not a theory, it's working. The world supply sits beneath a country that is rightfully ours. Pran is right. We cannot let faithless nations build armies of casters while we sit handcuffed to our principles. We're not considering using it ourselves, I trust. The Pantheon's edicts have been very clear. I'll tell you what the Pantheon says when I've damn well written it. I won't be the chaplain who let Kalan's last chance at supremacy slip through our fingers. We move on Midel. I'll announce it in Friday's sermon. If you can just give me a quick second, I forgot to put something on charge, and I'd like to fix that. Ooh. Just put something on charge and we'll see if we can find out what's going on. Okay, looks like the trouble's passed. Let me just take a quick look at some diagnostics here before I go too far. Ideally, yeah, it doesn't say unstable on Twitch anymore, so sorry about that. Also, I think my thing's charging. Let me just take a second here. Okay. Oh, by the way, Pugporg, are you still around? I actually forgot to mention something that might make you happy. Holy shit. Was that as bad as it sounds? So much worse than we dared to hope. We wanted something with a kick, and we got nitroglycerin. The Midil stuff is what we wanted. I never dreamed he'd just openly admit that they'd lie about the Pantheon. Am I going to derail things if I ask for a primer on the Pantheon? You know we honor our dead here, right? More than honor. You'd call it worship. The chapel claim their high priests can hear them all, speaking as one. That's the Pantheon. There's a history to the real thing, but the chapel's version is just a free pass to claim everyone we've ever loved is asking us to do what they want. Now we have the head of the church and state outright admitting they made it up. This is fucking checkmate. God, I hope Asina saw this before he was blown. I'd kill to go down knowing that I got the bastards this good. Should get some moderates fired up. Dal sighs. Probably not. Seriously? Now we hit the other brick in the wall we've been fighting. We can leak this on the Freenet tonight, but only tech-savvy kids with jailbroken phones will see it. They're already with us. Chapel control the legal internet and every TV station. Everywhere your centrist dad gets his information. We can't get through the chapel's base till we break down that wall. This is the megaton we drop when we do. Surely it'll make waves outside of Kalan. It might make the news, but what good does that do us? What information is new here? Your countries already know that the chapel is a surveillance state dictatorship with a mandatory religion enforced by police brutality. Hasn't moved any of them to action in the last 20 years. The DSR did impose sanctions. And the people of Kalan thank you for cutting us off. The chapel didn't want foreign goods reaching us anyway. It just means the only tech that we have access to is made by the institution we're fighting. Fair point. I'll shut up. Dal sighs again. I'm not trying to shut you down, I'm just tired. I'm tired of being told we have the world's moral support by nations that won't commit a single dollar of actual support. We're not even asking for troops. A shipment of Freenet phones would have turned the tide at the Chalice Square 5 years ago. Is there a plan to get this out? I've heard rumors that there's a strike ready to go, just waiting on a payload worth the blood price. Could be bullshit though. I'm just a soldier. They don't tell me what I'm hitting till it's time to hit it. I might spill it to foreigners like you. Slight smile. Sounds like a tomorrow problem. Yeah, I don't want to spend tonight talking politics. Wins this big don't come around too often in a fight like ours. There's an old military tradition from the 1600s. If your victory spared more blood than it cost, you drink the difference in claret. You drink the blood of the dead? No, it's the blood of the living, right? She gets it. Can't speak to the symbolism, but the blood math checks out. Come on, we got 3 cases of 1975 we liberated from a minister's cellar, and he would fucking explode if he knew that foreigners and faith traders were the ones who got to drink it. The few friends who joined the Pantheon today, we carry their voices, and their voices carry us. To the many who didn't, thanks to the foreigners with the dirty tricks and ridiculous hats. Let's start getting the Kalan situation on here. Alright. Dal Sabin likes trucks, dogs, wine, welding, brutally strong cheese. Dislikes, I've dedicated my life to gutting the regime that's choking my country. You really asking me what I dislike? Oh, put olives. Fuck olives. They're all like if salt could vomit. Hobbies. Sometimes I break into the Parkside Vehicle Depot and jam defective tear gas grenades inside their condensers, so next time they roll out to chase us, they'll choke on their own fucking smoke. Used to play hockey. Dal's an icon of the Kalani resistance. Every DSR news piece on it still uses that photo of her smashing into the wall of riot priests at Chalice Square. What photo? Show me. We always assumed that she was one of them who defected, but apparently she never was. She stole her armor off one she killed because she's fucking hardcore. She used to, I still fix cars. Now she fixes and customizes her own armor. Rebel hideout, not actual location, obviously. We didn't realize how urgently we need a safe house when we got to Kalan, so thank God Dal took us in. We're in some disused maintenance tunnels beneath the old city. It's one of the many hideouts the resistance used to plan ops against the chapel. The chapel. The chapel is both church and state in Kalan. It started harmlessly enough. No, the chapel engaged in ethnic cleansing as early as the 50s. As a stricter interpretation of Khorism, which has always been Kalan's primary religion. No, Kalandi was national faith before 1720, that's where Kalan comes from. But since most of Kalan's secular groups split off to form Adil in the 70s, the literal fascists has gained tighter and tighter control over Kalani's lives and freedoms. This is why I asked you to write this one, Jay. Fine, all you need to know what we're fighting for. The right to elect our own leaders, the right to worship any or no religion, a publicly accountable justice system, the release of all surviving persons incarcerated without trial. All four are classified as heresy. Oh. Midil declared independence from Kalan in the Septic Revolt of 1970. Since then, it suffered repeated invasions from foreign powers looking to secure its natural resources, including the world's primary supply of the mineral used to make synthetic mana. These days, the DSR occupies Midil with a force almost entirely composed of contracted reactor troops, but now reactor have gone rogue. Chapel leaders have often claimed Midil still rightfully belongs to Kalan, but this is the first time since the revolution that it's come to outright war. Delve, please fact check. The Kalan stuff is close enough. Ask Midillion about the rest. And that's how this recording fits in. The recording. The Chapel would kill to suppress this. A resistance agent managed to record the first chaplain telling his advisors that they're only invading Midil to secure its mana mines and that they've been lying about communing with the dead to justify it. If enough people see this, it could make an actual difference to the Chapel's stranglehold on Kalan. This is how the recording fits in. Should have read that before. Nope. Chapel of the Civil Tongue. Chapel's main broadcast center, all state authorized media in Kalan is controlled from this huge tech hub. TV channels to state-sanctioned internet. If you want to get something in front of the average Kalani family, it has to come from here. I'm actually going to take a minute to organize this a little bit better. Sure, I'm gonna have to move some of these around later, but anyways. All right, revealed motives of the Chapel. Chapel of the Closed Fist. Apparently the Chapel's key institutions are each modeled after a core value they preach. The Closed Fist is about showing no mercy to the faithless, and this is where they plan their military ops. The Resistance got an agent inside and recorded the first chaplain being way too honest about their reasons for invading Midil. And must be broadcast at the Chapel of the Civil Tongue. All of which adds up to mana dust from the mines of South Midil. The rarest ingredient in synthetic mana is beryllium calcite, and most of the world's supply comes from the mines in southern Midil. It's been a valuable resource in the energy industry for decades, but now that there's whispers of Reactor finding a military use for synthetic mana, global powers like the Chapel are taking an even keener interest in controlling it. Mana mines beneath the Central Reserve. The rarest ingredient in synthetic mana is beryllium calcite, and most of the world's supply comes from the mines in southern Midil. The DSR has always been shady about what they were mining it for, but now there's whispers of Reactor finding a military use for synthetic mana. It's becoming pretty obvious. Now global powers like the Chapel are taking an even keener interest in controlling it. Oh, apparently that was a false connection. Hey, that all makes sense to me. No rush if you want to rearrange or go over the details, though. This makes sense. This is location. This is a object. And yeah, I actually feel slightly bad. So Pugporg, if you watch the VOD or otherwise hear this, I did actually have some news on the post you wrote that I think might put a smile on your face. So if I don't remember to mention it to you and you do hear this, remind me. I do at some point want to do the dream chaining and that, but I think probably it's better for me to do the story, and then I can do this on my own time. You've been quiet since we got to Kalan. Because we're wasting our time here. Overthrowing a fascist regime and stopping a war? It's not our fight. We should be focused on Kennedy. It's urgent. The stakes are huge, and we can help. You can help. Later. I've got 6 months to live, and I want to make damn sure Kennedy hits the morgue before I do. My god, Dessa! I had no idea it was that short. I'm sorry. Don't be. I just threw that out for effect. Truth is, there aren't enough cases for an accurate prognosis. So I get to live in limbo till it happens. It's awful. I'm sorry. I get that it's personal with Liv, but can I just make the Kalan case to you? Seems inevitable. This might be the war we're here to stop. I'm not here to stop a war. I'm here to kill the piece of shit who locked me up and forced me to serve her at gunpoint. Okay, that's why you came. But as a doctor, when there's a crisis, don't you drop everything to help? When I was a surgeon, maybe, this power, my craft, I can save people no one else can. That's my focus now. Someone else can help Kalan. Okay, only we can stop Kennedy. Zan's the only one who can react before she hits. You're the only one with the tools and talent to track her. And I'm the only one who can resurrect you when you get yourself killed again. What if only we can help Kalan? We're scalpels, not hammers. I'm new at it, but it seems like fighting a regime with 1,000 times your manpower is very much a scalpel problem. When you've got a medical degree, you can tell what's a scalpel problem. It's not a degree-level analogy, Dessa. We can all grasp the concept of precision. Ooh, does she have a spine in the... she does have a spine in there somewhere. Did it take a medical degree to find that one out? Hell yes. More spicy Jen in future, please. I feel like you were losing this argument and you've somehow made it about me, but in a sort of nice way that's making me feel weird and unable to refocus? That was the play, yeah. You think I'm talented? Don't get it twisted. It's just a fact. Jen doesn't know where to look. You found me in the middle of a desert in another country inside of 2 days while on the lam. What else would you call it? I actually found you the same night, but we had to wait for a ferry. You took the ferry to break me out? We don't have a chopper. You couldn't spring for a flight? We're on the lam. Ugh, should have stuck with the Mafia. Okay. We have no leads anyway. Why not help it till we do? Because it's a huge risk. Chapel don't kill people if they can help it. They lock them up so they can't be martyrs. Killed I can fix. Captured I can't. Excuse me. I've been jailed 2 times this week. Excuse me. As long as I have this gun, there won't be a third. Is this going to be a problem? One more. You've got me for one more chapel op. Then I'm back on Kennedy with or without you. I'd prefer with. So you're still a believer after all this. I'm a chorus, that's my faith, not the chapel. The chapel is a regime that's taken the threads of our beliefs and used them like puppet strings. Chorism runs deep enough in Kalan that it's worked on far too many people for far too long. What threads? Are dead? They're the closest thing that we have to what you might call a god. We listen to them and honor them above all else. Real chorism is about learning to hear those voices and honoring their wishes in ways that make sense. The chapel's version is that only they can hear the dead, and you go to their priests to find out what your loved ones want you to do. So where does the Pantheon fit into that? It's all of them, in chorus, hence chorus. In chorism, it was an abstract concept, something that unites us. Whoever we are, the love we have for the people we've lost reaches up to the Pantheon and connects us. Go far enough back, and someone I love loved someone who loved someone you love. I show my respect to them by respecting you. Like a distant, annoying cousin. The chapel made it a tool of control. They say anointed priests of the highest tier can hear the Pantheon like it's a single voice. They have privileged access to what all of our dead families are telling us to do. If you come to it cold, the lie is blatant, but if you're raised into it, it runs deep. Are there a lot of chorists in the Resistance? Most of us. This isn't a secular revolt. We already had one of those in the 40s. That's how Medell got its independence. Maybe a stupid question, but do you literally talk to the dead? Ever lost anyone? Yes. You can't hear their voice when you want to? Not enough. You get better at it, like craft. If you're told it's not possible, you'll never try hard enough to truly do it. What does getting better at it look like? I can't do puzzles. My partner could. If I try one now, I ask him, Jita, what's this bullshit? And it'll come to me. Not the full solution. Never be as smart as him. But some flash of insight he would have had, and I can take it from there. If I died first, he'd be sitting here telling you can fix cars by asking me what the problem is. So sorry, how long has it been since he's passed? 2 years now, killed by a riot priest. He wasn't even protesting. He cared about the fight more than I did. But the truth is, we'd probably never have stood up to the chapel. But now I'm locked in, with his fire in me, and I want to make them feel the full pain of that mistake every time I suit up. Can you tell me something about him? Like what? Anything. He believes in me, like no one else. Told you I'd never be as smart as him. I can already hear him jumping in to defend me. He'd be telling you I'm a genius with engines. He'd tell you I invented the carburetor, which I didn't. He'd tell you I won a hockey tournament for our team with my playbook of dirty tricks, which I guess I did. I used to carry his belief around with me like a torch. It lit up all the things I could do. Now I carry it like a combustion engine. Jen leaves a respectful pause. He sounds great. He is. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for giving a shit. I'm actually, I'm quite intrigued by how they've done the story in this game. So, for those of you that don't know Suspicious Developments, this is Tom Francis's company behind this game. Probably their biggest titles have been Gunpoint, Heat Signature, and now Tactical Breach Wizards. And I think Tactical Breach Wizards I think all of them are really, really good games. Gunpoint is a real highlight for me in terms of its sort of writing quality, really. And I mean, the Tactical Breach Wizards as just a name, so he used to work for PC Gamer, and it was my understanding is that the idea of Tactical Breach Wizards was I believe it was like it wasn't like a fully formed game. I think it was just like an ongoing joke in the offices, and I believe he went to his former colleagues and just sort of said like, hey, I actually kind of want to make this thing. Are you okay with like me taking the joke? And apparently it was just a very, very positive reception. But one of the things I'll say, like, I think Gunpoint has got some absolutely hilarious writing. I quite like Heat Signature. I think it's one personally that I'm trying to think of the way to say this. Like, it's a very different game from Gunpoint. But in other ways, it's actually something that has a lot of the features that I like about Gunpoint. So in Gunpoint, you sort of rewire these levels and like you solve the puzzle that way. Heat Signature sort of has a version of this, but in the form of like a ship that you need to sort of break into and achieve a goal for. And it's amusing, but I feel like Gunpoint was the one with like really, the really funny writing. And with a name like Tactical Breach Wizards and all of the, just looking at the knocking people out of windows and things like that, like I think it delivers on the funny. What I've been pleasantly surprised by though is the like it does seem to be like they want to tell a proper story. Like they want to draw out the characters and they want there to be stakes. Like, so, this is not a laugh a minute when you're talking about the necromedics mortality and the lost partner. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I'm it's unexpected for me, but it's not unpleasant. The other thing I wanted to mention, though, is that I personally like the humor in Suspicious Developments games. I think they are, in my opinion, they are very, very good games, and I think the humor present in them are the thing that pushes it from a game that is 100% worth your time to you really owe it to yourself to play this. And this is just going to make me sound like such an entitled gamer, but it absolutely is true, right? Like, the crazy thing here is that all of the Suspicious Developments games are good, just like lots of the games that you will never have even heard of are good, right? We are completely spoiled for choice in terms of games to play, and so I hate to say it, but even if I gave a game as a gift to someone, I don't actually think, like, there's a chance that they may not actually play it just because of that long backlog. And so, for whatever it's worth, like, I think one of the things that really makes the Suspicious Developments games work so well is that underneath, they're not just good games and well thought out games. Like, having now participated in a beta test for Heat Signature and one of the earlier tests for Tactical Breach Wizards, and having seen Tom Francis talk about his process of doing surveys and iteration, and this is, if you want to develop games, definitely check out his writings on that. I think that is something that is very, very valuable for aspiring developers to read and understand. Having been on the playing side, but also being able to see these intermediate versions of the game, personally, I have a very, very good idea of why these games are so fun to play. But again, right, even though it is a remarkably high quality game, I think one of the things that's nice about it is the humor really pushes it over the edge. And one of the reasons, I know I'm going on for a really long time about this, but like, one of the things that really made me realize this is that the three games that I mentioned are, they're sort of like each of them is sort of like a tentpole release, right? It's like a Marvel movie coming out for Suspicious Developments, but like a Marvel movie coming out, or like Avatar or something like that. It's the thing that sort of keeps up the box office, and everything sort of works around it. But these are not the only games released by Suspicious Developments. There is Floating Point, which is a free game. Its description here is, Floating Point is a peaceful free game about using a grappling hook to swing yourself gracefully through randomly generated spaces. The only objective is to collect points, and the only thing that increases your points is swinging swiftly, smoothly, and elegantly without hitting anything. I believe this was a prototype for a game that was never developed, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And then another one, this one does have a price, but it is pretty modest, if I'm honest. It's a little more strategy-like, and in this case, in Morph Blade, you move around a grid, slicing, smashing, and bursting waves of nasty red bugs. Each tile you move to transforms you into a different weapon. On a blade's hex, you can slice enemies on either side of you. On an arrow, you can launch yourself through two enemies in a row. So it's really interesting to see these beside the ones that have sort of some story and some good writing and all of that. And it's I guess the point that I really wanted to make out of all of this is that since I have known about Suspicious Developments games, and I'm pretty sure I was early on with Gunpoint, I've found them very rewarding to play. It's a developer that I want to support, and I I find them easy to recommend on their own. But I think one of the things that I really like, whether it's, the more serious moments in Tactical Breach Wizards, or seeing sort of Morph Blade and Floating Point sitting beside like Gunpoint and Tactical Breach Wizards. Apologies to Heat Signature. Heat Signature is also quite good. It's one of these things that I get the impression of someone who is trying to like push out the frontier of what they can do to sort of learn more about their craft and to do better. This may be wrong, right? I could be misunderstanding what's going on with these, but to me, it's one of the things that I always find most exciting about following the creators that I do. I personally find it very exciting. And while I think most of the things that I'm particularly good at are usually things that are not the sort of thing, like it's just, like if you work at a Starbucks, right? Like you don't need to make you could be the best barista in the world and you wouldn't necessarily do that as a public thing. I mean, maybe you do. Maybe you do an Instagram or something like that. But like, or actually maybe there's a better example I could give from this is like, you're actually a world-class customer service agent. And of course, the firm you work for probably does not want you broadcasting clients' private information. So, you can be excellent and not necessarily do so in a public forum. But for the people who are entertainers or people who do their thing, do their work publicly, what I have personally found most encouraging, and one of the things I try and do for myself, but I don't really know if it's something that I always get a chance to show off, definitely not on stream, but I think it's always very exciting to see a talent trying to do not necessarily something new, but again, to push themselves into something that they haven't done before. And there's a few, there can sometimes be negative ways that it manifests. So like, I really like Alan Moore's work, primarily a comics author, although I think he's decided that he's said all he wanted to say in terms of comics and is now doing full prose, so a collection of short stories, and now a series of novels. Did a novel before, Voice of the Fire, but I think that one was almost sort of a collection of short stories too. Oh, excuse me. And I really do like it, right? So if you see like something like Watchmen, and then you will read, like a From Hell or Promethea. This is a guy who does not sit back on his old tricks. In fact, I would say he does have a long essay on writing comics. And in fact, the postscript to it is basically saying, like, all of the tricks that I told you here are things I don't do anymore, and I basically abandoned shortly after writing it. And in one sense, I think there's something really encouraging and really admirable about not wanting to just like, oh, Watchmen sold a whole lot, so I'm going to do another, collection on tormented heroes or whatever. But it is also unfortunate that, a lot of his works effectively he disowns now. And for him, it's something about relationships with the people who own the works. I think his collaborators have offered some views that suggest he may be overstating the case. I have definitely noticed in some of his interviews he will sometimes say things that don't align with my understanding of how the world works, but the fact of the matter is that I have a tremendous respect for someone who tries to push out the frontier. But in that particular case, I think it has also led to a distancing in a somewhat negative sense of the previous works. But I mean, they're his works, and it's his career, right? Like, obviously, he's allowed to say what he wants in terms of his relation to it. It's just a little bit of a shame, right? That if you kind of know that if you say, you know, Alan Moore, author of Watchmen, that he would be a bit annoyed by that. um, but you know, there's all I can think of other examples. I mean, like, and other stuff that, like, you know, I have to imagine that, like, a writer with the talent of Nabokov, like, there's a side of me that just wonders, like, did Lolita come from the idea that he hit a point where he could basically write about the unthinkable and set it for himself, the challenge to do so, and to do so in, like, a credible way that was, you know, that was clearly a work of literature. I'm not trying to say that, like, Tactical Breach Wizards is, you know, Tom Francis's Lolita or anything, but, like, you know, it takes different forms. And, you know, it doesn't always have to be something. In fact, the danger, I argue, would be in drawing attention to itself. And I know there's also the one where this is like a really popular David Bowie interview where he talks about, like, never playing to the gallery. And I think that is a really good... Sorry, I'm just going to take something to drink. I think it's a really good impulse that's actually a lot harder to follow than I think a lot of people grant. I think the difficulty here is that a lot of people will listen to something like that. They'll cheer it when it's a safe and known quantity. So, like David Bowie, it's very hard to argue that this is a guy who's, you know, tremendously talented. From what I understand, not all of his albums were necessarily well received. So, like, I mean, I like Earthling and Outside, but I don't believe those were necessarily well reviewed. I mean, I got into Outside because I heard a remix of The Heart's Filthy Lesson at the end of Seven, right? That's a good movie. So, you know, I checked it out. I knew I liked David Bowie. It's just, like, I didn't go out to, like, listen to all of his albums. But yeah, the thing is that even for his less, or like, was Heretic, I don't think was a particularly well loved album on its release either. So, but I mean, at this point here, right, everybody definitely recognizes the talent. And, you know, I think... What's your favorite? What about my favorite Revolution 9? I mean, I'll be honest with you. I actually quite like, it was weird the first time I heard it, but, like, I was really into it. I still actually like Revolution 9. It's not like, you know, I'll usually play it to troll you. But I don't mind putting it on. It's just like, you know, it's not like, oh, we're going to have a dinner party to put on Revolution 9. For those of you not familiar, the Beatles album, commonly known as the White Album, I believe its official title is actually just The Beatles or simply Untitled, but it's I think almost everybody calls it the White Album. At the end, there is, like, this incredibly experimental just sound collage, basically, called Revolution 9. It is something else, especially if you don't know what to expect. So one of the things, because I am a complete pain in the neck, what I will do is, if there are open requests, and this could be like, you know, you're in an old school diner and, like, you know, they have records inside of it. So it's like, oh, you got the Beatles. Of course we got the Beatles. Oh, the White Album. All right, time to queue up Revolution 9 for the benefit of everybody in the restaurant. But yeah, it's a wonderful one whenever you have a streamer with, like, open song requests. If you just queue up Revolution 9, you'll probably never be invited to suggest another song again, but you usually get good reactions. By which I mean you completely annoy. They regularly listen to it in the grimdark. Anyways, for those of you who don't know, Revive Snow in the channel here is a very lovely broadcaster. Actually, somebody who it looks like Pugporg has been a very devoted follower to. So I'm happy to hear that. But Revive Snow has been very kind in terms of drawing this channel's this channel to their audience's attention. But fellow Canadian, voiceless, camless streamer, does a VTuber and text-to-speech, has been playing a lot of Warhammer 40k lately, mostly Darktide and Space Marine 2, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know how big of a strategy fan you are. I think it's probably not at a 100% discount anymore, but during the Skulls event, Gladius went, the 4X Warhammer game went 100% off. I don't know if I'll stream that, but that one's kind of fun to play. But it's kind of fun because I know about Warhammer 40k because, you know, I'm a nerd and it's the internet and, you know, it's like 40k, right? There's a lot of DLC, so like 100% off is 100% off is like, it's nice, but it's, you know, if you like it, you're still signing up for a fair amount of content. But one of the things that's nice, I didn't know that Revive Snow is such a Warhammer 40k fan, but after like seeing, excuse me, after seeing all the games, it's actually really fun to hear Snow talk about the just the setting. Like I don't actually quite know what made you go into the deep lore, but it's actually the level of enthusiasm that Revive Snow shows for the Warhammer 40k setting is really really quite charming. So it's one of the reasons why I downloaded Space Marine 2 when it came to Game Pass, and actually I'm sure I will load up Darktide at some point as well. But there's obviously lots of things to play and lots of things for me to do. Anyways, I feel like I've been spending too much time talking about things sort of adjacent to Tactical Breach Wizards, but it was a chance for me just to sort of actually, let me tell you what, I'm gonna just cheat and use the, wait, where'd it go? Steam page. So this is going to be the Suspicious Developments Steam page. But if you haven't tried Gunpoint, Floating Point, Morph Blade, Heat Signature, or Tactical Breach Wizards, I think they're all solid games. Floating Point's free, and so as a developer, I really like Tom Francis's stuff. I would say, as a person, I really only, so I'll say I only met him briefly. Incredibly pleasant in Phantom Brigade is a preferred strategy game. Yeah, 4X is quite different from Phantom Brigade. But yeah, you know, only a brief encounter, just very, very nice. But I think one of the things that really I find very admirable is that it's one thing to have talent. It's another thing to be very open with an audience in terms of development and do blogs and things like that, or vlogs. But what I particularly like is between a Unity tutorial for you know, aspiring developers. I should mention that the next game is in Godot. It's interesting. I don't dislike Godot. I feel it's a little oversold for what it offers. That's a personal opinion, by the way. But he did a video. It seems very, very enthusiastic about it. So, and frankly, his is a voice you should be paying attention to rather than mine, because I'm not going to teach you how to make a game. But the fact that he's shared both the tutorial, but has also been sharing a lot of the business stuff, right? How he iterates on games, how he makes sure that the kind of company has enough money to be able to continue to iterate over these long times. And some of the advice is counterintuitive based off of a lot of the things that you hear from even experienced developers, but like some of the prevailing narratives. I don't think we should ever take for granted or think that, like, you know, here's the better way for me to put it. I think it's really great that even in a time where independent gaming is not necessarily on its upward trajectory that it had been before, that even in a tougher environment, he is taking the time to share ways to succeed with people who on paper could be competitors. Now, I think probably Suspicious Developments has enough of a reputation and enough talent that someone who's a first-time game developer is not necessarily going to be a competitor. And, presumably the firms that are potentially trying to capture the same audience, I'm sure they've figured their way out. So maybe the advice isn't as, they're not giving away trade secrets, let's say. But I don't know. It's just one of these things. Like I like the Suspicious Developments games. That's why I talk about them. But I think there's something to be said too, just about the effort that goes in, like the time that is given up to make sure that the ladder's brought down for the other people, like the next people who are coming in. Like I really do feel that sort of stuff is what produces the games I will be playing in the future, because someone who loves Suspicious Developments games and wants to become a game designer was told by that game designer that they admire, yes, you can make games and here's how you do it. So it's something I have a lot of respect for. God, I'm making no progress. Resistance Hideout the next day. Just got the word from command. We're hitting the Chapel of the Civil Tongue tonight. It's the broadcast center all the state TV channels go out from, and it's our way of getting the truth about the invasion out to the people who actually need to hear it. What changed? We've got a new team, and they think they can penetrate this heavy security there. So, I hope you guys can play nice with others. What's our job? We're the distraction. Oh, come on. Hey, they liked your strategy. You said the distraction should make them sweat. Did I mention Zan's actually very stupid and gives garbage advice? Take it as a compliment. After the closed fist hit, the Chapel are so scared of the four of us that we qualify as the brute force contingent. The other team are the precision instruments. Weird. I still don't feel complimented. You get used to it. Come on, we're gonna rendezvous on site. Chapel of the Civil Tongue, rendezvous with the strike team. By the way, Snow, while I'm reading dialogue, what are some of the games that you like to play? You have got to be fucking kidding. Hey, Zan. You've met? These are the fucking guys? These are literally the fucking guys we're here to stop. Huh. Well, you can kill each other after. We're in the lion's jaws now. We stay focused or we're tombed. You don't understand who these people are. You've hired the devil to fight a church full of demons. Sounds like the right tool for the job. Yeah, much as I'm with you on this, Zan, you did make it sound super fucking cool. Even if this was my call, we don't change plans mid-mission. The teams stand. This is doomed. Don't shit your robe, Zan. I'll lend you some reactor guys to save you when you choke. Zan looks back at Dahl. Please don't trust them with anything important. They're sending the broadcast. Oh, for fuck's sake! I don't know what your angle is here, Liv, but if you screw with this op, I will end you. Only time you've ever been a threat to me, Zan, was the last time you had my back. You're up against the big boys now, Kellen. Your little sparks aren't gonna cut it. Let's see how it goes for the traffic cone who's already lost to me twice. Next time you undo my kills, Doc, we're gonna find out if you can res yourself. Next time you try smack talk, we'll find out if you can fuck yourself. I thought we were working together. I just wish you good luck. I've got a regime's worth of enemies. I'll take all the friends I can get. Cool. Now the rest of us look like assholes. Inside later. That's a good twist, by the way. We've got reactor backup coming in from the south. We're gonna have a problem when you guys meet. I'm not gonna compromise your op to settle a score. But if you think Liv Kennedy is gonna play by your rules, you're joining a long list of short lives. We'll keep an eye on her. Every one of us has the recording. If she doesn't upload, no shortage of subs. Killing every one of us would not be outside her playbook. I'll leave it at that. And let's go. All right, use the laptop on the security door, knock out all enemies, 5 left, and seal all reinforcement doors. Really into Monster Hunter Wilds lately, replaced that void that Expedition 33 left when I finished it. Otherwise, just gotta do, okay, cool. I actually kind of want to do Expedition 33. I've sort of fallen out of practice. Oh man, this is gonna be a tough one. So as far as I can tell, Dal cannot... So, I mean, to me, the obvious one is... I'm not sure this is a great way to start. So, I mean, one option here is just... Yeah, so that kills everyone. So this one, I think we can't avoid any damage. And I don't see any way that I can avoid the Chapel Shepherd. Yeah, so the problem here is that the Chapel Tracker Clappet will take out Dahl. I could, however... Now that's interesting. Okay, so on this one, I'm going to seal the door. Now, I'm curious if this counts as destroying a weapon cache for myself. If I sensor slam, I think I get... Ooh. That's encouraging. Oh, nice. Okay. Alas, I don't see... The problem with this one is I don't see how... you know what? Ah, no. They shoot, so they shoot, then this one, so I think we lose the whole team. Oh no, Dal's still on the board. Okay. Let's see if we can make this work. Alas, I think I lose Dal doing this. Nope. We're good. Anyway, yeah, sorry, Revive Snow. I'm gonna guess that Expedition 33 is a top recommendation when I should play. Do we even need to go in there? Reactor and Chapel are shooting each other. Doesn't sound like a problem we need to solve. I'm not psyched about either one, but Chapel have the edge. If they win, this broadcast never goes out. I know it's not your priority, but if you could take years off their civil war, it could stop Medill's before it starts. I guess we also need to get through this room afterwards. There's also that. Okay. Knock out all enemies and reinforcements, 9 left. Use the laptop to open the security door. Have Jan deal a total of 12 knockback. And Banks needs to transfer 3 damage at once. Okay, I can definitely see this working. Oh, come on. So... I am a bit concerned here. Damn it. Does nothing. All right. Doing as much knockback as possible is definitely a high priority here. Now, as far as the rest of this is concerned, let's say we do transference from... Okay, that works. Okay, this one's considerably easier to deal with. In fact, it's possible... Yeah, I should be a little more mindful about this because... I mean, that didn't do any knockback, so... we'll try and make it work. That's gonna suck. I thought I was going to be able to block that. Works for me. Okay, so I don't think I have a good option for Death's Door on this one. I think we'll just foresee and see how the turn goes. Yeah, so we're just gonna keep doing the task. Seriously? We're here to back up the fire guy? This is a junction point. Reinforcements come through here to get to the server room. Right, but can you seal any one of those doors? No. Borikesh can, so we're backing up the fire guy. It's not even real fire. Would you run through it to get to a gunfight? Fine, we're backing up the fire guy. Okay. I have an interesting problem on this one. It's like one thing I can try and do here is, or if I'm gonna do that, so move this back. So I can try and charge. Intriguing. You know what? We can make some work out of this. You know what? I'm a little curious how one of these things is going to work out. So if I do the charge here, so that does open me up to this. Okay. Okay, yeah, that doesn't get me anything. So I think my original choice was the right one. Also, prevent 10 reinforcements in total. We can't block these though, can we? And have enemies collide with your riot block 2 times. All right, I will do my best on that one. You know, I think I prefer the, yeah, 3-bolt burst, and then predictive bolt. This is going to be a real pain in the neck. Oh. You know what? I'm just going to reset this real quick because I didn't realize that I could pyromance. Easy. All right. Okay, so Mildfire. This wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. In fact, I feel I can do better. Not like that, I can't. All right. Didn't actually mean that much in the end. That certainly didn't take a whole lot of imagination. This guy doesn't do anything, so my best bet here, I imagine, is to I mean, they're still doing their thing, but I feel like my predictive bolt is the way to go here. Okay, that's definitely gonna take some getting used to. So, I mean, I can pick up the riot block and see if it's yeah, that okay. I can work with that. Less clear if I can work with... I have to block all reinforcement doors with mild fire. So... Oh, interesting. This is a tough one. No, it's not. Okay, that is cool. I think I know how to make this work. So, mission accomplished there. Sadly, this wasn't sufficient to take out the baddie, but in this case, like, they're not going to do anything because they just kind of hang around, right? The extra bits definitely feel rewarding. All right, this room we could skip. Steve Clark's in there. Good with me. I got games on my phone. But stopping a war. But it's Steve fucking Clark. I'm enjoying this immensely. Two world powers are battling it out in this building, and Spiteful Jen versus Activist Jen is still the fight of the night. Wish I had popcorn. Which one are you rooting for? Who do you think? Spiteful Jen is the best Jen. No contest. Oh god, but he's such a fucking loser! He's gonna screw up this whole thing if we don't save him. Yep, probably. Really thought he'd react to that. Maybe his hearing's not that good. My hearing is peerless! I'm choosing not to engage! Knew that'd get him. God damn it! Spiteful Jen. Spiteful Jen. Okay. I don't think we get to control Steve, but we don't have to. So, finish by the end of turn 4. Transfer 3 damage at once. I feel like this is quite achievable. I'm wondering if there's a trick that I haven't identified yet. It's like the obvious one. Let's see. Okay, so this is the obvious one to say. Aha! It's because there's a million things for me to seal is why that's tricky. God damn it. By the way, Crush Hour is a wonderful name for that ability. Alright, so that didn't do anything, but this should... No, we're screwed actually, so if we foresee... Now that is interesting. I think we accept some damage to Steve Clark in the name of... Oh wait, no, hang on. No, you know what? I have other opportunities to transfer damage. So... Damn, this is gonna be hard. This is definitely going to be a tough one, but I can see this working. It's a thing of beauty. Although that didn't kill everyone, so that's going to be character building. God damn. Okay. I have ideas. No! We are gonna lose one character, but we should still win the mission. Oh, hell. Okay, we can still do this. I completely forgot that enemy. It is actually quite funny to do these missions and realize that like losing a a team member can be an optimal strategy if you want to achieve the goals. Kennedy says they're close to the content server. We just have to buy them a little time. What's in here? Armory. Now that we've cut off their reinforcements, they're going to send every chump who works here to grab a gun and fight us to the death. We're going to smash their weapon caches before that happens. Anyone they send to stop us just makes Kennedy's job that much easier. Making life easy for Liv Kennedy may be not the best way to sell Zan on this. I'm on a mission till that broadcast goes out, and I'm in the mood to smash some shit. Cool. Destroy at least 7 weapon caches in the next 5 turns. Finish with all team members conscious. Deal with all enemies by the end of turn 5. Resurrect an unconscious hostile. What? And destroy at least 9 more weapon caches by the end of this turn. How is that even possible? I see. I think I have an idea. Yeah, it still doesn't get me the... Ah, boy. Okay, that gives me something to work with. God damn it. Yeah, the real shame on this one is I need to be able to... Well... Eh. I don't see how I'm gonna get these other ones. So let's just accept. Life is full of disappointments. Although now I need to get somebody to open this. Oh yeah, no, this isn't gonna work. Yeah, I gotta keep Jen in here. You know, I think I can do better than that. I'm really curious how... Oh, you know what? I need to get Banks some kind of heal. That's not the way to do that. Use a laptop. There we go. Man. I'm mildly optimistic I could keep my people conscious. Ouch. Yeah, that was not really worth it. Let's think what I can do here. Sedative cocktail on the... Cool. Not quite what I had in mind, but I'll take it. I wish I had a better option here. But I think I'm just gonna... I think I'm gonna learn to live with it. Really? Nobody's moving? That sucks. Well, yeah, I guess because there's no, Well, you know what? There we go. Get a little damage for our trouble. Okay, now it seems to me like I should be able to put down a Death Star. Oh, you're joking. Okay. Well, there's still an option here. At least gets me in the right area. Okay, overall not a bad idea, but I really should have. Uh-oh, game crashed. Okay, here's the deal. I'm at the 3 hour mark, and I actually wanted to go to bed a little earlier. So I'm sorry to end so abruptly, but this is as good of a time as any to wrap it up. Um, so let's just take a quick look and see who's online. Thank you everybody for hanging out. I know it was a bit of a quieter stream tonight, but I'm always, I don't know, I like playing this game. I'll probably do it on Friday, unless I don't know, if I'm in the mood for something else. Obviously, there's always the option. But I noticed Will Shand is playing Librarian, tidy up the arcane library. I have no idea if this is inspired by Book of Hours, but definitely it feels like the sort of thing that some of the people who watch my stuff would like. So I'm going to leave you in his capable hands. I know there's not a whole lot of you, but we will still say hello to that fine gentleman. I hope you all have a good evening, and we'll see you Friday. Take care.